change your life. The goal of this is to help people recognize, are we living a life right now as if the Beit HaMikdash is in our life right now? Do we even know what the Beit HaMikdash is? Do we understand what significance it has? Is it a building? A lot of people think it's just a building. But there's so much more to what the Beit HaMikdash represented. And the question is, are we really internalizing that and understand this is what the Beit HaMikdash represented and what it should represent today, even though we don't have it? So that's the question. What are we really mourning? Imagine you woke up tomorrow and every news station announced, the Beit HaMikdash has been rebuilt. How would your life actually change? Would you make more money? Would you be healthier? Would you have a better marriage? Would you feel closer to Hashem? Feel safer? Feel happier? Most Jews honestly don't know. What would happen if you heard this on the news? That itself is the tragedy. The fact that we don't know how to answer that question, that's what Tisha B'Av is all about. Because we don't know how to answer that question. The Mishnah says, Kol mit'abel al Yerushalayim zoche v'roeh b'samachta. Anyone who mourns Jerusalem will merit seeing its joy. If Chazal tell us to mourn something, we first have to understand what we've lost. Why is Tisha B'Av considered the saddest day in Jewish history? Not because a building burned, but I already alluded to it. It's because an entire way of life disappeared. An entire way of life just left. It went away. Was the Beit HaMikdash just a synagogue? Not even close. The Beit HaMikdash was where God's presence was openly revealed. Prophecy flourished. Miracles happened every day. National unity was experienced. Sins were forgiven. The Jewish people felt close to Hashem. The Torah says, Vasuli mikdash v'shachanti b'socham. They shall make me a sanctuary, and I will dwell among them. You can find this in Shemot. Notice, it doesn't say, I will dwell inside it. It says, I will dwell among them. The temple wasn't about giving God a home. It was about God making us into His home. The Beit HaMikdash transformed Jews on a day-to-day basis. Let me stop for a second. Is this resonating? Do you understand why you're sitting here right now? You don't have to answer. Do you understand why you're sitting on chairs 3 tefachim from the ground? Just another day. I have my phone. I can check my phone. Rabbi Visogi, Mordechai Teller, Rabbi Quinn, all the people are coming here to speak to you. Tomorrow you're going back to your regular life. Most likely, yes. That is the loss. That we're going back tomorrow to our regular lives. Have we really stopped to think about why we're sitting on the floor? Lo aleinu, anybody should have experienced any kind of loss. I've experienced loss in my family. I've lost my father 3 years ago. And you know what? What bothers me the most right now is that I'm losing grip. I'm losing grasp of him. I'm getting chills right now. I'm losing grasp of my father. I wish I had that same emotion, same trepidation, same longing and missing that I had during Shuvah, during Shloshim, during my 11 months saying Kaddish. It's gone. I'm trying desperately to grab a hold of things to remember him. It's not working. Very sadly, it's not working. Does it mean I love him any less? No. But what can I do to connect to my Father? What can you do? What can I do to connect? To have that longing again for a relationship with a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You'll say, Rabbi, I've never had one. I'm just sitting here. But what can I do to have that longing, that desire, that relationship, to have a relationship with my Father? Think about your life, what it would be like if you lived with your Father every day and had a true appreciation for your Father who gave you life, who sustains you, who makes sure that you acknowledge the bracha that you have. Think about that. If we actually stopped for a second, for a split second in the day and said, man, I miss you, Abba. I miss you, Dad. What I would do to have you back. What I would do to be back at home with you. To have a story with you again. To share with you again. I don't have that. What can I do to long, to create that again? That is the message of Tisha B'Av. Longing to have that relationship, potential with God. Again. Your Father. Again. That's what we're mourning. The fact that I don't feel it anymore. I'm kicking myself right now. Dad, I miss you. Abba, I miss you. But I'm not doing anything about it. Imagine living in a world. Nobody believes politicians. Families are fractured. Anxiety is everywhere. Loneliness is epidemic. Depression is increasing. People have thousands of online friends, but no real friends. Does this sound familiar? The Gemara says that the temple was destroyed. The divine presence went into exile with us. Meaning, God never abandoned us, but his presence became hidden. Today we live in a world where God whispers. Back then he spoke out loud. My Father's whispering right now to me, and I don't feel him. God right now is whispering to all of us, but we don't feel him. We don't believe him. We want it to be that God is speaking to us loudly so we can hear it. Why was the temple destroyed? What's the answer? Sinat Chinam. The Gemara doesn't say because Rome was powerful or because Titus was evil, because the Jewish army was weak. The temple wasn't destroyed politically. It was destroyed spiritually. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs beautifully explained. The Romans burned the stones. The Jews removed the holiness first. Hatred destroys holiness. Sinat chinam, it's judging people too quickly, refusing forgiveness, gossip, jealousy, ego, wanting to be right more than wanting peace. The Maharal explains that the Beit HaMikdash represents unity. When Jews become divided, the temple no longer has a vessel in which to exist. It's us. There's no unity between us. Therefore, a vessel, a building, can't exist. We're the building first. We need to build each other up first. We need to be holy, Kedusha. Once we have Kedusha, then a physical building could happen to be there. But for now, nothing. What are we missing today? We've lost clarity. The Gemara says, when the temple stood, the Jewish people experienced divine inspiration. Today we struggle with the questions like, what should I do with my life? What is my purpose? Back then, people could literally seek prophetic guidance. We lost closeness. Imagine praying and knowing God's presence rests only a few hundred feet away. The temple made God tangible. Today's faith requires effort. Then it was experienced. Think about the effort that I have to do to have a relationship with my Father, to remember my dad. So hard. I wish it was on my fingertips. But because we don't have a vessel inside of ourselves, that's why experiencing my Father is so much more difficult. I have to make myself a holy temple inside of myself first before I can experience God's presence. We lost closeness. Imagine praying and knowing God's presence is right here. We lost unity. 3 times a year, every Yid came together. Rich, poor, religious, simple, scholars, farmers. Everyone stood together. Imagine what that would do for the Jewish unity today if we could all look at each other as if we were one. Not, you're too this, you're not enough of this, you're that. And we're so fractured. We're so far apart from one another. Imagine if we could all, mamash, come together, shalosh regalim, walk as one to the holy temple and say, I'm with my brothers. I'm with my achim. We can't go a day, including myself, without saying something negative about my fellow brother. Think about it. So ridiculous. Too busy wanting to share some gossip, some rumor, some lashon hara, because it'll make me feel better. Take a step back right now and be like, what good is that going to do me if I'm going to speak poorly about my brother? Think about what that would do. Think about your own sibling. We all have siblings. Hopefully, we all have siblings. Or think about your kids. And when they start hurting one another, how does that make us feel as parents? Come on, guys, what are you doing? Why are you fighting? This is ridiculous. Tell your sibling how much you love them. Why does it take our backs against the wall, chas v'chalila, for us to wake up, to be there for our brothers, to be there for our sisters? Why does it have to take Lo Aleinu on October 7th? since 2023, since October 7th. Look what we've had to endure as the Jewish people. A lot of sadness, a lot of hardship, a lot of dissent, a lot of people who don't like us speaking poorly about us. Anti-Semitism is through the roof right now. What is God doing to us right now? God, what are you doing to us right now? He's forcing our hand. That's what he's doing. He's forcing our hand. He's saying, if you, Rabbi Vasogi said it before, if you can't get your acts together and be kind to one another, I'm going to force you to be kind to one another. I'm going to put your back against the wall. And I'm going to make you open your eyes to realize what you should truly be grateful for if you can't do it on your own. And that's what October 7th has done. It's made a lot more Jews feel closer to one another. Vimlo akshav vematai. If not now, when? If I'm only for myself, who will be for me? No, that's not how it goes. If I'm not for myself, who am I? And if I'm only for myself, I don't have the Mishnah in front of me. You guys know the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot. If I'm not going to be for myself, who will be for me? And if I'm only for myself, who am I? And if not now, when? We have to take care of ourselves, guys. Tisha B'Av is our opportunity for us to truly understand what our value is, who we are, and understand what role we play in this world. Hashem is forcing us right now to acknowledge that and be truly grateful for what it is that we have. We've also lost our joy. The Mishnah says, whoever never saw the Simchat Beit HaShoeva never saw true joy. It's a Gemara in Sukkah. Not great joy, but true joy. Apparently, we've forgotten what genuine happiness even feels like. If the temple returned tomorrow, would everything change? Yes, it would. Not because we'd have nicer architecture, because we'd have more faith, less confusion, more unity, greater morality, clearer purpose, national identity, closeness to God. Isaiah says, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all nations. It's found in Yeshayahu. The temple wasn't only for Jews. It elevated the entire world. How do we rebuild it? We've hinted at it. How do we rebuild it? The Gemara never tells us, go gather stones. It tells us, build yourselves. Build yourselves. Practical tool number 1. Replace criticism with curiosity. Ask, what pain might this person be carrying? Instead of, why are they so like that? Again, what pain might this person be feeling right now? Put yourself in that person's shoes. Try to be empathetic, rather than saying, why are they so much like that? Or why do they always have to do that? Who is that person? Try to think about where that person comes from. You can't judge a person unless you've been in their shoes. Don't do the knee-jerk reaction and say, why are they like that? Say, there must be a reason they're like that. And you know what? I have rachmanut. I have compassion of why they are that way. How can I help them? Tool number 2, stop lashon hara. The Chafetz Chaim wrote that speech builds or destroys worlds. Every avoided piece of gossip rebuilds holiness. Tool number 3, increase Achavat Yisrael. The opposite of Sinat Chinam isn't merely tolerance. It's active love. Smile, invite, forgive, include. Smile, invite, forgive, include. Achavat Yisrael. You're my brother. You're my neighbor. Get over of my pride, my ego, and say, I forgive you. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Do that with your neighbor. Do that with your family. Do that with your wife. Do that with your kid. Say, I'm sorry. You, we, saying sorry, not bearing a grudge, not taking revenge, being vulnerable. That's what Hashem wants. And we will be rebuilding His stones that way, quote unquote. Tool number 4, pray for Yerushalayim. In Birkat HaMazon, when you say it, mean it. Mean it. Read the words. What is it saying? So busy saying stuff so quickly. Read the words. You said it. Internalize it. What would it do for me if I really did rebuild Yerushalayim? What does that signify? What does that do? Not only for me, what does that do for my shul? What does it do for my neighbors? What does it do for the Jewish people? Rebuilding Jerusalem. Internalize it. During Shmona Esrei, the Amidah, Tefillah, pause. Pause. Gamarnu. No. Like, read the words. Connect to Hashem. I'm saying this for myself. This is not for anybody in here. This is for me. Stay there. Talk to God. Be connected. The Anshe Knesset Agadola, they knew what they were writing when they wrote the words. Why is it that we have to do this in a minyan with 10 other people? Acknowledge you're in a minyan with 10 other people. The koach ha-tefillah, the koach ha-the tzibor will help our prayer. You're here. Make the most of it. Feel the words. Tool number 5, study the temple. The Midrash says, when Israel studies the laws of the temple, God considers it as though they are rebuilding it. We have Daf Yomi, Mishnayot. I'm sure if I asked all of you, give me the blueprints of your house. If you own it, you know your house well. It's your house. A sprinkler breaks, something, there's a leak, something happens, you're quick to rebuild it. It's your house. It has value. We have to see that our Beit HaMikdash is like our house. Study it, know it, value it, understand it. Be prepared when Mashiach comes that we're going to have to go there. Not have to. We get to go there. We get to enjoy it. Learning itself becomes construction. There's a beautiful medrash. It says, every generation in which the temple is not rebuilt is considered as though it was destroyed in that generation. We've all heard it. I actively destroyed it because I didn't rebuild it. Ken, betach. Because you're sitting there idly, not doing anything about it. If I can do something about it, meaning I can work on myself, I can make myself a vessel, I could become more kadosh, then kilu is if I'm rebuilding it. So it's our job as Jews to become more kadosh every day. It's 2026, Rabbi. I live in Los Angeles. My watch, my Tesla. Okay, you can enjoy it. But that's what's so important about being part of a kehila and having such a chashuv rav. This is what's going to keep us in the parsha. You can have a job. You can have a life. You can like nice things. But you should like the Mishnah just as much as you like your Tesla. Appreciate your learning Seder. That's what's going to build a Beit HaMikdash. Your learning Seder. Being kind to your wife. Being kadosh. Easier said than done. Really, easier said than done. Yeah, if you go to Yerushalayim, the Kotel's right there. It's easy. But in Los Angeles, LA, Lo Aleinu, La La Land, we have a test here. Beverly Hills is right over there. Beverly Wood is right over there. It's right there for the taking. But we, as holy Yids, have to understand what is more important to us. That's our test. Again, I'm saying this for me. Nobody else here. This is for me. The Kutzker Rebbe was once asked, "Where is God?" He answered, "Wherever you let him in." That is exactly what the temple represented. Not merely God's house, people who made room for God. Perhaps Tisha B'Av isn't asking, when will God rebuild his house? Perhaps it's asking, when will we become the kind of people worthy of living in it? I'll repeat that. Where is God? He answered, wherever you let him in. That is exactly what the temple represented. Not merely God's house, people who made room for God. Perhaps Tisha B'Av isn't asking, when will God rebuild his house? Perhaps it's asking, when will we become the kind of people worthy of living in it? It's all on us. The Beit HaMikdash was never just about sacrifices. It was about connection. Connection between man and God. Husband and wife. Parents and children. One Jew and another. The Jewish people and the world. When those relationships broke, the temple fell. When we repair those relationships, the temple begins to rise again. And in summation, as Rav Avraham Isaac Kook famously taught, if we were destroyed and the world was destroyed with us through baseless hatred, then we shall rebuild and the world rebuilt with us through baseless love. It's our job, it's our duty on this Tisha B'Av to acknowledge, what is my part? What can I do to rebuild the Beit HaMikdash? We have to start living day to day that we want that closeness and connection with our Father in heaven. And we want to feel that closeness and connection with our Father in heaven. And say, I need you in my life. You're not hidden. I see you. I'm not going to make all that other background noise be a precedent, but I'm going to have you be front and center in my life. And once I allow God to be front and center in my life, and I act like a child, his child, living up to what it means to be a Jew, then we will have our holy Beit HaMikdash there, present. And it won't be like he's whispering. He'll be front and center. He'll be louder. It's up to us. So I give us all a bracha that we find the Kedusha within inside of us, within inside of ourselves. We see all the incredible things that we have in our lives. We don't take them for granted. And we then take the bracha that we have and we share it forward with all of our fellow Jews. And in us doing that, God willing, B'mira v'yameinu, we'll have our holy temple tomorrow. Thank you.